the X-Wing is ready for some space blasting action with today's game, Omega Race, for your Atari 2600, which came packaged with this, the Booster Grip joystick adapter. How did it work? I'm glad you asked. So you take your standard Atari 2600 controller and you just slide it right on over the top just like that. And now what happens is it gives you a second button. This button does something different than this top one, which is also the same as the joystick button. So these two buttons are the same. This one does something different. Now, when it's on the joystick, it's not the tightest. It can easily be removed. It can slip around just a little bit. And also it's kind of made for smaller hands. So if you have bigger hands, this might be a little uncomfortable. But at the end, there's another plug you plug into the joystick plug, and then you plug this into your system and put the game in your system, and that's what I'm about to do. So let's go ahead and take Omega Race. Let's take this little combo here, pop it in my Atari 7800 Pro system, and see how it holds up today. Let's go to the game. Omega Race was published by CBS Electronics and carries a copyright year of 1983. It is based on the 1981 Bally Midway arcade game. Omega Race is a single-screen space shooter for 1 or 2 players alternating. In a 2-player game, setting the right difficulty switch to the B position will have both players taking turns on the same controller. But if you happen to have 2 booster grips, you can set the right difficulty switch to the A position so that each player can use their own controller. According to the manual, the leaders of the Omegan star system have perfected their method of warrior training called the Omega Race, and now they're bored. So they are challenging you to join the Omega Race in hopes of finding a worthy opponent. Omega Race plays like it could have been a sequel to Asteroids. The game is played in a series of waves or racks, and your goal is to destroy a set of 7 warrior ships per wave. When the wave begins, several of the droid ships will be empty and either stay motionless or drift without firing. Command ships have a dot in the center and will attack you. When you destroy one of the sleeping droid ships will wake up, turning into an attacking command ship. If a command ship stays active long enough, it will turn into a death ship that looks like an X. The death ships are more aggressive and also leave behind diamond-shaped photon mines as obstacles for you to crash into. Defeat all the ships to move on to the next wave, but if you lose a ship before defeating them all, the wave will reset with all 7 ships returning. For control, you use the trigger button on the booster grip to fire. The button on top of the booster grip and the regular joystick button are used for thrust, and the joystick itself is used to control your direction when flying. When firing, you can only have 2 shots on screen at a time, and the enemy ships will move in a counterclockwise fashion. Point-wise, you earn 500 points for destroying photon mines, 1,000 points per droid ship, 1,500 points per command ship, 2,500 points per death ship, and an extra 5,000 points for every 4 waves or racks you clear. You start the game with 3 ships and earn an extra ship at 30,000, 80,000, and 150,000 points, with a maximum of 4 fighters in reserve at any point in time. You lose a life every time you crash into an enemy or a mine, or if you are shot. Graphically speaking, the game is not that impressive and suffers from a lot of flicker, but it does represent the vector style of graphics well enough. I thought the sounds were okay, but I did like the music, especially the menacing background theme that can increase as the tension builds. Family friendly wise, you just have basic Atari style spaceship blasting action, but the difficulty may put this out of reach for younger players. At the time of my research on eBay, loose copies go for $5 a piece, loose booster grip controllers sold for about $23 a piece, and one complete in-box copy that included the booster grip sold for $79, but there were others that didn't sell at a $50 price point. There were also some modified Sega Genesis and Nintendo controllers just for this game, and the seller was asking for $50 a piece, but none had sold. So what did I think of Omega Race? Honestly, I had a lot of problems with it. I found the booster grip itself to be uncomfortable with my large hands after playing for just a little while. The game is also extremely difficult, perhaps in large part due to the controls. Once your ship begins moving, it can be very difficult to control it due to your momentum. And you have to be pretty accurate when shooting. Only having 2 shots on screen at a time turns several close calls into lost ships. I really wish they would have allowed you to control your ship in a similar way to Asteroids on the 2600 without needing the booster grip, and that there were some easier difficulty options as well. So where am I going to rank Omega Race? Pretty low. I'm talking somewhere in the 50s. I will give it an edge over the terrible title match Pro Wrestling at 57, but I would rather play Seahawk at 56. So out of 67 games I've ranked so far in the 2600, I'm going to make Omega Race my new number 57 ranked game. Omega Race is a pain to control. Go play Asteroids instead, and if you buy a copy, be advised you need to have a special controller to play it. If you enjoy retro-related videos, would you please click the like and subscribe buttons. I'm also a member of the Retro Junkies Network. You can find more retro podcasts and videos at theretrojunkies.com. Thank you for giving me a little part of your day, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the next episode of The No Swear Gamer. Take care and beware the booster grip.